The Florida medical marijuana program can be a confusing mess. We've got a ton of dispensaries, each with different products, and the worst part, you usually don't get to see what you're buying until you're already out the door. Concentrates, even worse. Half the time, there's not even a picture of what you're getting on their website. That's why I'm doing this Florida Dispensary Tour, to give other Florida medical marijuana patients a real look at what's out there, without all the guesswork. I'll be going to every dispensary in Florida, covering at least one flower strain and one concentrate from each one, except Trulieve. I've made a righteous vow to never go there. But today, we're starting with Rise, located in Oviedo. Let's see what they've got. Rise isn't the biggest name in Florida. They've built a solid reputation for having a decent strain lineup and a good variety of concentrates. Now, the question is, in terms of quality, do they actually deliver? Randy Rhodes FL here, and I'm back from Rise Dispensary. So I got a couple different things from Rise. Got the Shine Dark Chocolate. This is a rather generic chocolate. They're pretty much the same at every dispensary. Some are a little bit better, some are a little bit worse, but they are 100 milligram dark chocolates. And I am going to show a couple flower strains and a couple concentrate strains from each dispensary. And this one we have 4 grams of live resin, the OMG and the Bananaconda. So let's take a look at that. This was $146 total for this haul, and it's a pretty good one. So I don't go to Rise that often in my personal adventures because usually I think it's kind of mid, but I was pretty surprised by their new concentrates, this live resin. Have not tried the rosin yet. This resin is more widely available. It seems like they have it a lot. Anyway, a lot of people told me to get this Bananaconda, and it smells great. It has like this unique little Rise smell to it. I think both of the resin strains I got smell pretty similar, and it's like a freaking dank. I feel like I overuse the word dank, but it has like a purpley kind of smell, and it's like this zesty freaking aroma. But I was scared that this was gonna burn bad and not have good effects, but both strains are pretty good hybrids. They're relaxing, and in terms of concentrates, this is one of the better concentrates in the Florida program, so that is a huge plus. So now let's take a look at the flower from Rise. So this is the Good Green Flower. This is a sativa. I try to get mostly sativas as I didn't want to get stuff that I didn't want to actually smoke myself, you know? Like I usually like sativa flowers, so I'm not going to go for indicas, but anyway, this is the Jack Herrera, and I got this one because Jack Herrera is a terpinolene dominant strain. If you don't know, there are terpenes in cannabis strains. This is what differentiates strains from one another. For example, this one has terpinolene, and terpinolene is a sativa kind of terpene where it makes you want to get up and do stuff and have energy, and it doesn't make you that tired. So that's why I got this Jack Herrera. It's a prototypical freaking sativa. It has a classic Jack smell, and it smells like terpinolene candy bomb. But I got this one and I tried it, and I just think it's kind of mid, honestly. Like, I like the resin, I like their concentrates, but I just feel like most of their flower is just dry, and it hurts my lungs when I smoke it, honestly. I know that's bad, but I just think it's too dry, and I get like this weird aftertaste, weird like burning in my lungs. So yeah, that was the Jack Herrera, and yeah, I'm gonna give Rise a 5.5 out of 10 on the dispensary rating scale.
So Rise Cannabis, in terms of the Florida medical marijuana
program and the landscape of it, where do you put Rise? I am going to put it in the middle of the pack. Rise, I wouldn't go out of my way to go there, but I also wouldn't avoid it because they have some good products, but it's mostly pretty freaking mid. So let's move on to another
dispensary in the Florida Medical Marijuana Program.
And I wasn't sure if this was exactly a 8th, but it actually was.
Welcome to the legendary location of Jungle Boys on University Boulevard. Jungle Boys, this dispensary has more of a story than the last. This one, I was very excited when they first opened their location.
Their first location in Ocala, Florida.
So this was a major California brand coming to Florida for the first time, and we were all excited about their flower, and it was basically 710 before 710 because this was the first time there was real quality in the Florida Medical Marijuana Program. So let's take a look at their products. But yeah, I have gone to Jungle Boys in Florida in 2025. Got my coffee, got my dog here, got my dog.
Okay, so I've just got
Back from Jungle Boys, and I have the Strawnana 30.53% THC flower here, and this one, I remember the Jungle Bud Tender once told me that this one hit them the same as a dab in the form of flower. So that is what intrigued me to get this strain, and I think you can immediately tell from looking at this that this Jungle Boys flower is a lot more frosty in appearance than the Rise flower. So I think that overall, Jungle Boys is going to have a higher quality flower than Rise. You can come to expect a better grown flower, I would say. Jungle Boys is a more storied franchise, and this strain in particular is a foxtailed strain, so the nug is pointy. It's got that foxtail stick type thing going on, and the two prongs on the side. It's what I see generally of foxtailed nugs in my experience of smoking and consuming Florida medical marijuana flower. So, this Strawnana was a good gaming strain, good hybrid, doesn't make you too tired, doesn't make you too freaking anxiety stressed out in the way that a sativa would. So yeah, next we have the Waffle Cone, and this one is another frosty strain, similar in appearance in that this one has the dark green coloring and the trichomes all around the nugs, very frosty, very sticky. These didn't pass the sticky test. If you guys know, I usually do a sticky test on Jungle Boys flower where you hold the plastic container upside down, and if it passes the sticky test, it's going to not fall down and beat gravity, but this time the flower was not sticky enough. So we also have the Jungle Stick here. This is the live rosin pen, their proprietary all-in-one hardware for their live rosin. And these are pretty good. They're generally overpriced, I would say, at $45 for a half gram, but they have some pretty good flavors and they don't really burn out as quickly as some other options like the Sunburn live rosin pens do. But these are honestly probably the best live rosin disposables in the state. I would say that either Goldflower or 710 Labs have the best. So that would be my top 3 live rosin disposable pens in Florida. And as we all know, the disposable pens, they can be bad for the environment. They become tech trash once you're done using them, just like Rust. Shout out to those who play Rust, been playing that lately. And we also have some rosin, so let's take a look at some Jungle Boys rosin. So let's talk about this Jungle Boys rosin. I'm gonna put it simply, the
Rise flower
is dry and I didn't really like it, but their concentrates were pretty fire. Jungle Boys, on the other hand, is quite the opposite. They say say you only get what you put in, but the Jungle Boys flower is fire, but the concentrates tend to be mid as fuck. That's right. I am gonna say Jungle Boys concentrates are freaking mid. So let's start with this watermelon Z. Let's take a look at it. Watermelon OG crossed with Skittles cake. It's got a pungent tropical citrus aroma. However, it's a bit muted, okay? And you look at the appearance, it's very dry. There's no terp pools that you'll find. You're not gonna be able to dive in on this one because it's freaking dry and the effects are just, the legs don't last long. It doesn't freaking smack you in the head. It's just middle of the pack, not that great, and you would expect better of a place with good flower like Jungle Boys, but I don't know what's going on here. But Jungle Boys, your concentrates are pretty freaking mid, and that's okay because your flower is great. Your flower is fantastic, Jungle Boys. This Watermelon Z, I should be able to just pick any strain on a whim on the menu. It should be at least
Above average. You know, this is Jungle Boys, a storied franchise, as I said earlier. They know what they're doing. They've been around for a while, and they can definitely do better than this Watermelon Z, so it's muted.
They can both make some improvements, but they also both have some pretty good
Products.
So I hope this helps anyone that is new to the program.
and just looking for some insight on what's really out there in the Florida
Medical marijuana program.
But what the hell? But what the hell? But what the hell?
YouTube.com/RandyRhodesFL.
and have a wonderful day in the Florida Medical Marijuana Program.
YouTube.com/RandyRhodesFL.